Hey everyone, Tracy Verdugo here. Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. And this week I wanted to ask you to celebrate with me because it has been 10 years, my God, where has that time gone, since I wrote and released my book, Paint Mojo, originally with Northlight Books, and it's now with Penguin Random House. So it's still available, still on all the online bookstores, and you can order it into your bookstore as well. And I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about how the book was conceived, and then I'm going to give you a little peek inside and tell you a little bit more about the contributing artists and the different things that you'll find in here. So way back in 2012, I was very newly traveling in the US, and I was teaching a 3-day workshop in Santa Rosa, California, and I met a beautiful woman who came to one of my workshops, and her name was Tonya Jenny. And as it turned out, I knew her name because I had been researching different editors for different art publishers. So I've been looking at Northlight, and I've been looking at Quarry Books and at all the other art books, and I was kind of sneakily looking at who the editors were and then following them on Instagram and getting to know them, and just having a little bit of rapport, a little bit of communication back and forth. So when Tonya came to my workshop, I was really happy that she was there, and we chatted. As I taught the workshop, we chatted about how do you actually write a book? How do you get an art book published? How does that happen? I had no idea. And so we talked a little bit about it. It was basically a large art retreat that we were at called Art Is You. And it was the very first one that I taught at. And Sally Ann McClellan was the organizer, and she gave me my start. I'm forever, eternally grateful to her. And anyway, so Tonya and I chatted, and then throughout the next few months, we emailed back and forth, kind of tossing around some ideas. And she really helped me to come to the conclusion that writing a book based around my workshop and kind of expanding the concepts of the workshop out into different chapters and really making it even bigger than anything that I could deliver in 3 days, that was the way to go. So that's what we went with. And then she was amazing. She set the deadlines for me. I was writing the book in Australia, and then I was out on tour the next year and writing the book while I was on tour. So you could find me like in an Airbnb in between workshops thinking, oh my God, I've got to get chapter 3 finished. What am I going to do? And I'm in someone's driveway, and I'm, painting something, coming up with a tutorial, and then writing a personal story and sharing that. So it was really quite a frenzied and quite stressful at times process, but also I loved it. I loved the whole thing, and I especially love how the book turned out with the help of all of the other beautiful contributing artists that are in it. And then my daughter, Santana, did a lot of photography for it. And then, of course, with Tonya, just really helping me the whole process. She had also helped me with the book proposal. I just felt so lucky. And then the book kind of had a little bit of a phoenix rising moment, because several years back, I can't remember what year it was, but Northlight Books went into receivership, and we were basically told at the time that our books would probably just languish. They'd probably just drift off to nowhere. And then one day I received an email from Penguin Random House, and they told me that they were picking up my book, and that we were going to have a new campaign and get it going again, rejuvenate it, revitalize it. And so we did. So it's no longer in this hardcover form. It's now on a beautiful paperback, but everything else is the same. And I'm going to show you a little bit inside it now. And so if you don't have it on your shelf, you can see whether it might be something you'd like to add to your art book collection. I can hardly believe that it's been 10 years since I wrote this book, Paint Mojo, and since it winged its way around the world to so many of your bookshelves. I haven't looked at the sales lately, but I believe that we're up around the 40,000 mark, perhaps more. And it just really thrills me every time someone messages me or writes to me to tell me that my book has changed their life or really helped them open up their creativity, and how much they've loved the exercises in it. So the way the book came about was that I had met my editor, Tonya Jenny, who's a beautiful human being, and she had come to one of my 3-day workshops in California. I believe it was in Santa Rosa. And anyway, we had gotten along and she'd really enjoyed the workshop. And we talked about the possibilities of writing a book. And she was at the time an editor for Northlight. And I really had no idea what I would write a book about. And actually, my first idea became one of the chapters, and it was being open to the artistic possibility of journeys. And Tanya was lovely, but she said, I just don't think that's the one. I think that's a little bit too niche. And after a few more weeks of deliberation, I realized that what I really should do is take my workshop that I was teaching and take every single little facet of it and expand it outwards, and every different move, every different technique within the workshop would become a chapter. And so that's what eventually happened. And she was just the most brilliant editor through the whole process. I couldn't have done it without her, and I also couldn't have done it without the other beautiful artists that were collaborators with me. So many of the artists that I was working with at the time, that I was teaching retreats and workshops with, I asked them if they would contribute to the book, and every single one said yes. So Erin Faith Allen, Seth Apter, Orly Aveneri, Lisa Sonora Beam, Jessica Brogan, Juliet Crane, Keisha Devney, Louise Gale, Jess Green, Elaine Kunisberg, Laura Micah, Peter Perez, who's on the other page? I think Jessie Reno, Mary Beth Shaw, Roxanne Evans Stout, and Judy Wise. Just the most beautiful people, and many of them have become close friends. Some of them have actually come out to Australia to visit, several, and I've hosted them here. And it was just wonderful to have all of their contributions and beautiful tutorials and their stories as well in the book. So it really is a wealth of not just tutorials, but a wealth of art and a wealth of personal stories shared by some amazing artists who are just really generous with their knowledge and with their personal sharing. So as we move through the book, I just want to read to you the introduction that I wrote. And it says, this book is for the quiet one sitting way up in the back of the room, hiding behind her big old canvas, hoping I won't notice her. It's for the eager, wide-eyed one at the front, who jumps in with gusto and delight. It's for the one who doubts his every stroke and color choice, the one who listens and learns well for a while, and then loses focus or gets impatient, and does something on his canvas that sends him into meltdown mode. This book is for the one who waits for instruction every step of the way, excited to try new things, but anxious to step out on her own. It's for the one whose life is in transition or despair. It's for the one who feels stagnant or lost, the one who is flying with joy, the one who has learned grace and patience through experience, the one who has been painting for 30 years but still loves to learn. And it's for the one who has never, ever picked up a brush and dipped it into paint. What an awesome, shiny, messy, complex, perfectly imperfect bunch we are. All parts of the bigger equation, tiny sparks of light from a greater source. Necessary, integral, wonderful. You're all amazing sparks of divine love with the unlimited potential to shine bright in this world. You have a style and a presence that is truly unique to you. And I feel like that's been my job over the last 25 years, the first 12 of them teaching children and the last 13 of them teaching adults, is just to help humans recognize their beautiful innate creativity and the fact that every single one of you has a gift that you can bring forward. It might not be painting. You might be seeing this because it's just popped up into your YouTube feed. It might be writing. It might be cooking. It might be gardening. There's something creative that is for you. So I just wanted to share the celebration with you, give you a little glimpse into the book in case you don't already have it on your shelf. It is so full of amazing tutorial, art and stories from not only myself, but from all of those other beautiful artists as well. And if you've already got it, but you haven't pulled it out for a while, I'd love for you to pull it out and have a go at some of the exercises. Just looking through it now, I realize that there are some tutorials that I haven't even yet done. So I'm going to go back and revisit those as well. You can find Paint Mojo online in all of the online stores. Just look up Tracy Verdugo and Paint Mojo. And you can also ask your bookstore to get it in for you, to order it in. The publisher was Northlight, but Northlight is no longer working or in business, and they were taken over by Penguin Random House. So grab yourself a copy if you don't already have one, and let me know in the comments if you do have one and what you found in my book that helped you along your creative path. So thanks so much for tuning in today and for celebrating with me. It is amazing to think that my book came out into the world 10 years ago and it's still going strong. And I hope you enjoyed the little look through. Okay, see you next time.